Here, you see, a comma should be used, not a full stop. Pay attention also to the punctuation of your proposal and your thesis. He is perhaps mostly known for his play Death of a Salesman. Uh, in MLA style, the title of the books should be in italic, so he has not paid attention to this rule. The title of the books should be written in italics. I told you many times, please refer to the book MLA. Everything has been said, you see it there. So I don't know why you do not pay attention and do not follow what you see has been mentioned in this class many times. This play won the Tony Award and the Pulitzer Prize when it came out in the year 1949. Full stop. Its fame is likely due to the fact that it critically explored the concept and meaning of American dream from multiple perspectives. It is described as an American play. In Death of a Salesman, the hero will express the idea that he brings man himself to his family. The hero in this play gets how the essays are mentioned, everything. The hero in this play gets nothing from his hope of American dream that led him to commit suicide. Miller chooses double O to make main character, which is symbols of capitalism. Arthur is considered one of the most important dramatists of 20th century. 20th century, not 20th. You see, again, check everything when you send your final draft. Everything, grammar, capitalization, syntax, appropriate words, everything. Most of his works are related with American society today. His characters and events are portrayed in realistic way. You find him, and I told you many times, avoid using pronouns I and we in your proposal and in your thesis. Leads with political, so this sentence should be changed into, for example, this play, this work, this study, this research. Miller has a complex and insightful understanding of human condition, and without him the American literature have been very different in its shape. Arthur Miller was born in Harlem on October this and that, the son of Polish immigrant Isidore and Augusta Miller. You see the arrangement, you start first with Arthur Miller's work, and suddenly you jump to his biography. So the arrangement is important. First, if you are given a biography of an author, first bring the biography and then continue with, you see, his works and the other things. Not with the works and then to biography without any identification in, you see, the paragraphs. Miller, his father, had a successful store of clothing and make his family lived in good manner of wealth, but that ended in 1929 with the Wall Street crash. Arthur Miller graduated from high school in New York in 1933. Then Miller went to enter, not inter. Inter means between. Enter is the verb, not inter. In Cornell University and University of Michigan, but both the school refused him. Miller worked in many kinds of strange jobs like a host of radio program, a school journalism after he had a job as an editor, not as editor of, as an editor of Michigan Daily and began experimenting with theater. After that, he left the University of Michigan. Miller wrote plays for Federal Theater, which provided work for unemployed writers, directors, actors, or designers. But in 1939, the Federal Theater was closed by the Congress, not Congress. After Miller's play Death of a Salesman adopts capitalism approach that reflects an American dream. The concept of American dream can be found in many of Arthur Miller's drama. Miller frequently writes his protagonist as a man who desperately in search of his American dream, and always the main theme of Miller's work, but we find again use we. Do not use it. Avoid we, I, the pronouns in your proposal and this dream. He shows how wrong this concept is, often built on illusion and paradoxes, and when someone tries to achieve the drama, this dream makes people lose, not loss. Loss is noun, lose is verb. This morality, ethical value, and ideas, idols, and family unit. We find contrast between the ideals of American dream and the values of family. We can see that in Miller's Death of a Salesman. This sentence is not correct. We can see that in Miller's Death of a Salesman what? The sentence is not complete. In Miller's Death of a Salesman, we find again V. American dream is clear in its play. This sentence has been repeatedly mentioned to here, at least 3 to 4 fives. While Willie represents the concept of capitalism, which is reflected in the American dream, Willie can't accept the fact that he's a simple salesman, so he wants to change his manner of living and has the concept of American dream to achieve success, even if he is forced to deny reality in order to achieve his dream. Willie returns to the past and chooses, not chose, double O, to relive past memories and events to convince himself that he is a successful man. So we find him again V. Live. We find him live, not lives, in the present, but at the to here, you see, his writing is so weak. As an MA student, it is not acceptable. So you have to check everything before sending it to the supervisor. But remember his brother Ben. Ben achieves his dream during his going to the wilderness of Alaska and Africa and looks into wealth, discovering them and becomes very rich. So Willie wants to live in the past and travels with his brother to achieve his American dream. When the play begins, Willie converses with Ben's ghost at moments of great stress. Ben represents the most fashion aspect of American dream, the idea that a man can set out into the wilderness by himself and comes back, not come back, wealthy. Willie represents blames himself that why he didn't travel with his brother and achieve his dream. So he lives in the past. The play goes on to affect audience. It is like mirror to see themselves because everyone experienced a dream. In Miller's Death of a Salesman, Willie faces conflicts with himself and society when he knows what he realizes value in life by what society considers valuable. He decides to live in the past, and denying the present that represent, that makes lose himself, and a tragic ending. So to here you see there are lots of problems with this, you see, proposal, with punctuation, with the structure, with grammar, words, style of writing. So to here it is not a good one. So be careful what you are sending. You see your proposal and write it. State not the problem. And meanwhile, I like to add this that now I'm discussing this proposal to let you know about the things that we have discussed many times in this class, but as a proposal in general, it is not acceptable since the American dream and its features with the death of a salesman have been mentioned many, many times by the other researchers and scholars. So this is a kind of worn out uh, proposal and title. It is not acceptable in general, but I'm going through it to let you know about the problems in uh, a research and how to write a good one. This thesis is the problem of capitalism of American dream in Arthur Miller's place, Death of a Salesman. Not Death of a Salesman in italic, not in quotation. I don't know whether you know what is the use of, you see, quotation mark. Why the title of a book in quotation mark? In italic, not in quotation mark. Something else. In American, the capital exploit the working class to give them enough salary even the time of the work is not suitable. They spend money in factories with little money. They work only to live, to get and food to themselves and their family. They have no time to read or listen to music, so instead they can't educate themselves. So more people want to achieve American dream and do anything. Not to see clearly stated. The problem that in the United States the capitalists control economy, not control on economy. That make them take the center of power, so the capital decide what belief or beliefs are acceptable, not what belief are acceptable, what beliefs are acceptable. They hold the values and the form the laws, in other words, than comma. The capitalists, not the working classes, control society's ideology. They put their standards and behavior in the society. Because of that, we see again V. The concept capitalist American dream are taken by the characters of Miller's Death of a Salesman. In Miller's Death of a Salesman, the ideology of American dream that tells Willie his self-worth is earned only by economic success that keeps him looking up to the predatory brother Ben Tyson. The player's strong Marxist element tells us to refuse the capitalist exploitation. Willie refers from the employer and displays us the contrast inherent in capitalist ideology. In capitalism, we deems advantage of business to expense little man, who brought into capitalist values. The play is written in tragedy way. Tragic. We again. See, I've told you, avoid using pronouns I and we in your thesis. But to here, you see, many times he has used we. We will remember the ruin of individual person because of some character's faults. So that this encourages us, again grammar, to concentrate on character flaws instead of the society that helped output those flaws. So we ignore the passive effect of the capitalist ideology that is the reason of catastrophe in the play. Miller draws a person that is a victim of capitalism who believes the values and worked on guiding his children, but quickly it crushed him. Again, consistency you see in writing, some sentences in present, some others you see in the past. Willie spent his age working in his company, but when he became old, the company stopped his work and his salary. In this situation, a businessman, the owner, did not show any sympathy for the old man, who spent a third of century serving his father and his company and threw him as a crossroad. Miller revealed that the sale and profit are control values on the labor market and most of the American society. And blah, blah, blah. So, to here, actually, clearly we cannot find some uh, real evidence or evidences of the play show to see what the problem is. Here, the researcher has described only something about you see the American dream. What kind of you see dreams in the play about the gap in the research? You are going to solve a problem. You are going to contribute in the field you are studying, not explaining something you see in general. Here, he has asked 15 questions for an MA. This is not reading, you see, a comprehension and comprehension, you see, questions. This is a proposal. For an MA proposal, you have to think about 4 or 5 you see questions. Here, what is capitalist approach and what are its aims? Not a good question. What is American dream related with capitalism? Again, not a good question. Does Arthur criticize the capitalism? Not a good question. Capitalism portrays a negative state in Miller's play. It is not a question at all. What is the impact of American dream on the characters of Miller's death of a salesman? This can be a good one. How significant is of capitalism? This is not a good question. How does the world deal with capitalism values? It can be a good question, but change into a better one. What is the main message? Not a good one. What is the violation of tragic? Not a good one. Do American idols show the freedom of individual at the expense of the welfare of the community? No. What is the evaluation of suicide of the protagonist really in Death of a Salesman? What is his relationship to you see, the Death of Dream? The questions should focus on the problem and the methodology. Problem and method, the connection between these two. So if the questions are related, they are okay. If not related, they have to be removed. What are the actions that confirm the American dream death of a salesman? Can be a good one, but should be changed. And the rest of the questions also, I'm going to see through them, but they are not good ones. Significance of the study. The research of this study will bring into light the definition of capitalism and relationship with American society and what is the meaning of American dream. It has been mentioned many, many times. American dream has been defined. What are you going to define? A new aspect of it, the new concept of it? The search with the impact of American dream on a member of the family and the struggle. The study will give Miller's criticism of American society. So to hear nothing has been mentioned as the significance of the study. I told you it has to present the readers with something new in the concept of the method and the problem. You have to think about the way or the ways that your research is going to help the method and you see the work, how it contributes the field of your study, that is English literature, is going to develop something in capitalism, in the American dream, in the problem that expressed in the work or not. So the significance of the study also does not show anything in this respect. Part 4 is methodology. The present stage deals with analysis, capitalism, and its impact in American Dream and American Society. Miller's thus explained the role of capitalism and material concept in the main characters of the play. The study focuses on the thought, plans, talks, and actions. The study tries to show the main characters to think and behave in the families and society. The study explains how the importance of American Dream to each main character in this play and how they do anything in order to achieve that dream. The search reported the results of heroes of this play when they failed to achieve their American dream. The study opened the unexplored side of most American society for accomplishing American dream, drama no dream, at that age of written display. The study explains the cause of most American society wants to attain. You see here the methodology, you have to talk about the capitalism. That is, you see, the theory that is going to be applied to this work. So first, describe the methodology. This part is good. This study the library and electronic sources in light of capitalism. This study explains the conflict with one family in American society. This study avoid you see repetition of three times here. This study, this study, this study. It is not good in writing. You have to reword some of the sentences, not the first thing that comes to your mind, you put it to see on the page. Be careful with writing. Again, this research focuses in culture by analyzing display. Here you have to explain how you are going to analyze the work, how you are going to apply the theory to the work. This is what you are going to describe at this stage in your methodology. So keep in your mind how the theory going to be applied to the work. So you can explain about the content analysis. I'm going to read some of the lines as the evidence of capitalism. This is what you have to explain in your theory. In the review of literature, again, it is not acceptable at all because only one source has been mentioned, you see here. So it must be documented. Then you have to bring, you see, the idea, the reviews mentioned by the others related to your problem and the method, that is capitalism, the American dream, and the characters in this of salesman. And then you have to analyze them, analyze the ideas. By analyzing, I mean that you have to evaluate these ideas, right? The appreciation you see of the works, mention the strong points, the weak points of the works being done, and then with referring to the sources. Here we have only one source, Rod 1359. 1359 is see the age of what age? In Western you see countries we have 1359. Actually, no. It is the uh, Persian or Eastern you see countries, not Western you see countries. So we have to change it into the correct date. Limitation and delimitation of the study. This is limited to a database librarian reading of this play by Arthur Miller. The play is advertisement as what little title suggests through capital study of American Dream. This test seeks to explore Miller's plays in the light of capitalism. The research explaining the capitalism is okay with the limitation. With the last part, that the definition of key terms, he has described capitalism and the other things, but without any reference. So when you explain, for example, capitalism, you have to give and refer the readers to the source or sources. Who has defined capitalism and what actually you mean in this research and proposal by capitalism. Without the source or sources, it is not good and acceptable. This is the end of, you see, your friend proposal. That is Adil Jamil Shanoon. So in general, I can tell you that if you write this kind of proposal, repeated, not mentioned clearly, you may face, you see, a problem, and this will postpone your uh, proposal being accepted. Okay, so I stop here. And if there is any question with this proposal or any other proposal, please ask me. And if there's not any question, you have 10 days to send me your proposal as your classwork activity and classwork. Then I read them and justify them and put some scores for as your class activity, and then you have 3 or 4 questions for your final exam as things theoretically discussed in this class. That's it, you see, for today. I wish you a very good and happy time. If there's any question, I will wait for 5 minutes. And if there's not any question, wish you the best. Your exam, meanwhile, is online like the previous semesters. Only the Iranian will sit for the exam in say the university, and their exam is not online. They have to go to the university, ask about the time and place of the exam. We have only, I think, you see, one Iranian, that is Mahasti Sadatpur, and the others are, you see, foreigners. So Mahasti, be careful, your exam is not online. Please ask the head of the department or, you see, the authorities, educational, you see, center, آموزش, you see, that is, to know where and when your exam will be held. Yes. So be careful not to miss, to see anything. Okay, any other question? Okay, thank you very much. Wish you the best. Enjoy your time.